So I saw this one on the big screen last Sunday, so yes, it's still in theaters, even if it was only one screening for me that entire weekend. So it qualifies for me to put in this video now. Best Picture nominee The Zone of Interest is from writer and director Jonathan Glazer, the mind behind Under the Skin, and based on a novel by Martin Amis. It's also nominated, among other things, for Best International Film, representing the exotic foreign country of the United Kingdom. Okay, even though this is indeed a British film, it is entirely in German, to be accurate to where it takes place, which is Germany in World War II. Yeah. But this is not your average Holocaust film. It takes place in the house right next door to the camp where one of the officers lives with his happy family. Okay, just bear with me here. Yes, the movie follows them, but they are the villains in their own story. It basically follows their casual lives as they live normally despite the horrific acts around them that they are all complicit in. Apparently this is based on an actual family, so I guess this could be considered a true story, but calling this a story is kinda stretching it. I don't mean that in a bad way. The movie's basically just a bunch of scenes of seemingly casual everyday life while horrific things are heavily implied to be happening in the background. Though there are a few scenes adding to a loose plot about the father's career, but it's a lot more effective when it's not focusing on that. It's disturbing in a much different way than any other Holocaust film. It does not show the same horrific things that you'd see in any other movie with that setting. It instead implies all that stuff and shows it being ignored. It's more interested in unsettling and angering the audience. And it works. It also stays away from any catharsis. Yes, anybody with even the most basic knowledge of who won World War II will know that they get their comeuppance eventually, but they don't show that here. It works best in the first half hour or so, but then it kinda takes a dip after that, solely from diminishing returns. Yes, this does get old after a while. The shock value does eventually wear off. After a while, it pretty much starts to repeat itself. It doesn't really expand much on the themes either. Its main trick is people living normal lives despite doing or at least being complicit with horrific crimes against humanity. And there isn't really much room to expand on that for over 100 minutes. It does that a little with its modern day epilogue, but everything before can be a little repetitive at times. So I walked out of this thinking it was among the weakest of the Best Picture nominees, until I thought about how I reacted while watching it and decided that, okay, it's still probably among my personal least favorite of them, but it's still a great one. When it ended, I thought I was bored because nothing was happening, but then I remembered other movies that I was bored by and realized that, no, that's not what boredom looks like. Despite everything, I still couldn't take my eyes off of it. The shock value and horror still burrowed into me and kept me interested without me even knowing it. Despite the fact that nothing was happening, the bleakness of it all created feelings that kept me invested. The acting is also pretty good. It features Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall as the mother of the family. There isn't any acting on the same level as that movie, but okay, I just wanted to point out that she was in this too. I'd never heard that name before last year, and now she's in 2 Best Picture nominees. And she's good in this one too. Is Zone of Interest a one-trick pony? Maybe. Is it something that everybody will be interested in? No, but it was definitely effective in its unique look of cruelty. While recording this, I realized I may have undersold it. In my YouTube short, I said it might not have even been for me. That was a little bullshit. As time goes on, I realize how much it stuck with me, and it will probably stick with you too.
Boys, shoot the radio. The police radio, Louise.
Got it.
Thelma and Louise.
How do you like the vacation so far? We'll be drinking margaritas by the sea, Mamacita.
Drive-Away Dolls is from director Ethan Coen. That's right, one Coen brother, who wrote it with his wife Trisha Cook. It takes place in 1999. Why, I'm not sure. The year doesn't really play any part in the narrative, and it doesn't really lean into the feel or nostalgia, but whatever. It's about 2 lesbians who take a road trip together, but they unwittingly rent a car with some unexpected baggage in the trunk, and now some dangerous people want it back. It is in the style of the films that he and his brother are known for. Oddball crime comedies. It just sucks that it's not a good imitation of them. It had the groundwork for a good movie, obviously a Coen brother, but also a potentially interesting premise and a good cast including Matt Damon and Pedro Pascal, both in very small roles. But the lesser-known actresses who play the main characters, Margaret Qualley and Geraldine Viswanathan, are fun to watch too. But the movie as a whole kind of blows. It isn't really as funny as it should be, especially with its overuse of sex jokes that don't often land. Like, this is surprisingly raunchy. The big reveal in the second half feels like it comes out of a bad Seth Rogen comedy, and it's just such a stupid plot point. Also, there are some really strange directing choices here. I usually have a weakness for stylized movies, but the things they do here just feel really tacky, particularly with scene transitions. A lot of them use some weird, gimmicky transition effect that you'd see in like some very basic editing software, the kind of transition that you wouldn't want to use because it would make it look dumb. And also a few bizarre psychedelic transitions, which, okay, they're definitely not as bad as the other transitions, but I don't know how to feel about them. A few years ago, Joel Coen was able to make a good movie without his brother. Ethan Coen did not. I don't know if this makes him the less talented brother or he just had one weak moment, but either way, this is an unfortunate miss.